And welcome everyone to the season finale of Stick to Sports. In the blink of an eye, season 10 is about to conclude, and we're mic-less tonight, but the show goes on. We still got a lot of ball to discuss, so without further ado, Alex and Sammy, can you please do the honors?
Roll it! Boys, it wouldn't be a Stick to Sports episode without us diving into one of our favorite dumpster fires of an organization.
No, it would not.
It's already season 10 conclusion, but let's jump right in. The New York Giants have canned their head coach Brian Daboll after going 2-8 to start the season. Daboll went 20-40-1 in just over 3 seasons as head coach. Despite winning Coach of the Year in 2022, the Giants organization decided a change of scenery was needed. So, Connor, we all know what happened the last time the Giants were the top story on this show. You went crazy, ballistic. So what do you think about this move?
Alex, I'm honestly not going to go crazy today. I'm kind of
Wow.
just sad. You gave
proud.
that stat
Yeah.
on his overall record. Gosh, 2022 when he was the coach of the year seems like a lifetime ago. That record that we gave, 20-40-1, that's a .336 win percentage as a head coach for his career of the New York Football Giants. His last 2.5 years, the team went 11-33. That's a 25% win percentage. The only NFL team that had a worse winning percentage in that window is the Tennessee Titans. Certainly not what you want. I mean,
Great company.
we're worse than the Jets. That's something I've never said in my life as a Giants fan, and it really all just comes back to Brian Daboll and just not meshing well with others. 2 years ago, when this team actually made the playoffs, 3 years ago, excuse me, they had a defensive coordinator by the name of Wink Martindale. This defense was actually pretty decent, even with the lack of talent on there. Wink and Daboll butted heads, and it ended up with Wink leaving and resigning. He's now the defensive coordinator at the University of Michigan. The problem with that is Wink is a well-respected defensive coordinator in NFL circles, and as soon as Daboll alienated him, no respectable defensive coordinator wanted to come to New York and work with him, hence why we're stuck with Shane Bowen and why the Giants are 2-8 when they could be 6-6, 5-5.
Yeah, no, they could easily be around a 500 record, and I think Shane Bowen is absolutely the root of this problem, and even though Daboll butts heads with people, Shane Bowen, I mean, since 1970, I found this stat unbelievable, but the Giants have had 5 consecutive games this season with 20 points scored, but a loss to show for it. And that comes from Shane Bowen and this Giants defense having a lead going into the fourth quarter and just blowing it. I mean, they had a 3-point lead against that crazy game with the Cowboys, 14 seconds left. Cowboys on their own 33. They tie, they win an OT. 26-8 lead against the Broncos. We mentioned it before with 6:30 on the clock, blown. And another little tidbit, Abdul Carter was benched last week against the Bears for the start of the game because he missed a walkthrough. He was sleeping during the walkthrough, and as a DC, you set the tone and your players respond. And if they're literally sleeping during practice, I mean, get Shane Bowen out of there.
100%. I wanted to touch on that too. You have players falling asleep in your meetings, in your walkthroughs. That's a sign that your coordinator doesn't have the locker room. That's a sign that your coaches are failing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's
That
besides
whole
the point.
organization, no offense.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you guys more. All right, let's move over to some on-the-field fireworks as Jamar Chase has been suspended for 1 game after spitting on cornerback Jalen Ramsey. The altercation started after Chase and Ramsey got into each other's faces after the whistle blew the play dead. Jalen Ramsey retaliated by punching Chase, leading to an ejection, but no suspension. Chase has appealed his suspension, claiming he would never spit on Ramsey. As we wait for the player union's final say, Sammy, how does Chase's actions affect the Cincinnati Bengals?
I do want to say one thing. I want to say that he did not say that he would never spit on Jalen Ramsey. He said that if he were to spit on Jalen Ramsey, it would be on his face. So
He doubled down.
That he doubled down on it. His defense was, I would never spit on his jersey. It would be on his face. But that's besides the point. I think that Jamar Chase, as a captain, as a leader, and as someone that young people look up to, a lot of people wear Jamar Chase jerseys and stuff. I think it is despicable act. I think that spitting on someone is absolutely, undeniably one of the worst things you could do in the sports league. I mean, besides punching and anything else, but spitting is it's disrespectful. It is not something a grown man making all this money, taking up the entirety of the Bengals cap space, and now he can't play a game. He took the entirety of the Bengals offensive core is their wide receivers because they spend so much money on them. They value them so much. And when their captain and star wide receiver spits on another player that's out for a game, especially when they're struggling this much, I think that was a stupid play. And he should have put the team before himself.
Yeah, absolutely, Sammy. I couldn't agree more. And here's the thing, Jalen Ramsey has always been an instigator. He has always been, he has always been a corner in this league who has been very physical, taunting other teams, trying to get them to make that wrong move so that, his team can benefit, and he did just that. And as a veteran corner, it's his job to lead the defense in terms of energy, and if you get the star Bengals wide receiver, one of the best receivers in the league, even give you a reaction, then you've done your job. Even if he gets ejected, the whole team is fired up, both squads are going at it, and you're right, Sammy, Chase just needs to be better than that. You mentioned briefly cap space and having them locked in, but when you make a huge investment to such a young, promising player, you expect him to be better.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
all right, staying in the AFC, we head over to the other New York dumpster fire team. The New York Jets have also started the season 2-8. While they haven't fired Aaron Glenn yet, they just instead announced that Justin Fields will be benched for the second time this season, and Tyrod Taylor, the GOAT, will be the starter this week against the Ravens. Fields is the only quarterback in the league to have 4 games throwing under 100 yards this season. Alex, once again, we know what happened last time you talked about the Jets, but what are your thoughts on this move?
I love it, actually, Sammy, because even though we put a huge investment into Fields with some guaranteed money next year, let's not forget, I think this is a good move for Glenn and a good move for the coaching staff in general, because let's not forget that Aaron Glenn has benched Justin Fields this season before. He went with Tyrod Taylor against the Buccaneers week 3. Tyrod was also in line to take over the job against the Bengals, but wasn't able to play that week due to injury. So Fields went on. They had a crazy game. He won back-to-back games. So Glenn, in my opinion, just wanted to give Fields a short leash, but give him a little bit of a chance. And now that it's officially Tyrod Taylor time, probably for the rest of the year unless he gets injured, I either want Tyrod Taylor or rookie third-string quarterback Brady Cook to get some reps because, you know what, Brady Cook's not going to be the answer. But I want to evaluate the...
He could be, though.
He's not.
He could be, though.
I want to evaluate the passing attack going for the rest of the season so that we can truly see what we need in this upcoming draft. We have the 5th pick coming up. Let's just see how the receivers mesh into this system. Connor?
Yeah, Alex, you mentioned the guaranteed money he has next year. He's on the official cap for $20 million. Only 10 of that is guaranteed, and that's kind of something we've seen so far from Darren Muji in these contracts. He makes it so that he can maneuver out of them very easily. We saw that just recently with the Sauce extension. After next season, they're no longer on the hook for any of his money. So overall, a very smart, frugal move by GM Darren Muji. And to be honest, this gives the Jets a chance to win, to save that locker room. My only fear is that they end up winning too many games and no team will want to trade out of a top pick to let them move up in the draft.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there, Connor. Well, it's too bad that Mike isn't here to gloat in your face, Sammy, because the Dallas Cowboys whooped the Las Vegas Raiders on primetime last night, beating them 33-16. Dak Prescott had an excellent offensive showing, throwing for 268 yards with 4 touchdowns, including a touchdown pass to both CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. All 3 of our teams are 2-8 to start the season, except for Mike's. But before we hear from the angry Raiders fan, Connor, I'm going to give it to you. Give us some statistical context for how bad the Raiders have been this season.
Yeah, just some quick stats. 4 times this season, the Raiders have scored less than 10 points. That's the most times that's happened in the NFL this year. After last night's loss to Dallas, the Raiders have been held to under 30 points in 30 consecutive games. That is the longest streak in the NFL. Their offense has actually regressed from last season, going from 29th in the league to 31st. Jeez. And their red zone rate, rushing yards, and total yards are the lowest in their offensive coordinator Chip Kelly's 5 years as an offensive play caller in the NFL. So this is historically bad on all fronts, Sammy.
Thank you, Connor. You told me exactly what I already know.
Connor,
The Raiders are the worst team in the league, and I will die on the hill. That these guys say, oh yeah, we have a trashed, dumpster fire organization. But when you have had consistently so many head coaches, 20 different starting quarterbacks in your league, I mean, Josh McDaniels set our entire organization back 30 years, man. We had Derek Carr, and we were like, you know what, man? Give me Jarrett Stidham. Give me Aiden O'Connell. Give me Geno Smith, okay? I could go on for hours and hours and hours, and next season maybe I will, but I'm not going to tonight because the Raiders suck.
They don't deserve your family.
They don't deserve my time or my energy, so I'm not even going to give it to them. The Raiders suck, the worst team in the league, and I can't wait till next season. Let's go Matt Stafford and the Rams, baby.
Oh, wow, jumping ship already.
Yep, no, I'm not jumping ship. I want to watch a good football team.
Fair enough. The Cowboys returned to a form. It was nice of them to win for Marshawn Neely. Rest in peace. Marshawn Nealon, rest in peace. Great job for the Cowboys. But we're going to head into our first quick break. When we come back, we'll head over to the hardwood, and we'll look at some NBA injury bugs. We'll be right back here on WTOP 10.
If it's hockey,
It's what they score!
it's on Hockey Talk.
It's over!
Join Rob Finger and his panel of guests
Their behavior against easy teams, how do you lose to the Bruins twice?
as they take you through the hockey world.
We welcome you with open arms.
Tune into Hockey Talk, Mondays at 9:30 after East Coast hockey games, only on WTOP.
Oh boy!
Welcome back to Stick to Sports. We're going to quickly transition from the frozen tundra to the hardwood. Starting out in the world's most famous arena, the injury bug has once again made its way to the Knicks locker room as star point guard and team captain Jalen Brunson went down last Wednesday with a grade 1 ankle sprain, and just 2 days later, forward OG Anunoby suffered a strained left hamstring in the Knicks' win against the Heat last Friday. Alex, are the Knicks better equipped to deal with these injuries this year under new head coach Mike Brown?
Absolutely they are, Sammy. And as a Knicks fan, I have not been as confident as I am to say that than I have been since that 2012-2013 playoff team with Melo, Tyson Chandler, all the boys.
Jason Kidd.
Don't forget it. No, but the Knicks are very well equipped to deal with this scenario, and that is from Mike Brown's philosophy of depth. Clarkson will see more minutes. Landry Shamet will play more minutes. Landry Shamet just dropped his career high a couple days ago without Brunson. And, I'd rather OG and Brunson go down now than go down in April. So rest up. Hope they're healthy for later on. We will be just completely fine with Mike Brown until then.
Next man up mentality.
Exactly. Absolutely. Always.
Certainly next man up, Alex. The only little concern I have, it comes with OG. Jalen is expected to come back at some point this week. OG's been shut down for 2 weeks. He's expected to be out longer than that. This is the same hamstring that he injured 2 years ago in the Knicks' second-round loss
the playoffs
to the Pacers.
Yep.
So this is a little bit of a habit for him. It's just a little something to keep an eye on. But regardless, they are much better equipped this year with the addition of, especially of Jordan Clarkson. He also had over 30 last Friday.
Yeah, exactly. They're their bench depth will step up in this time. It'll also give Mike Brown some pieces to play with and experiment with when they're ready come April. But staying with the theme of injuries, from the east to the west we go, as Spurs superstar Victor Wembanyama has been shut down for the next 2 to 3 weeks due to a calf strain. Connor, do you agree with the Spurs' forward-thinking move, especially after all the Achilles injuries we saw during last year's playoffs?
Oh, 100%, Alex. I mean, we could just look at the stats of how important Wemby has been to this Spurs team so far. We certainly brought it up on our last episode when I actually predicted them to be a playoff team if he were to stay healthy and with the addition of De'Aaron Fox, who comes back soon. But especially these past playoffs, we saw Jason Tatum playing through calf strains. We saw Tyrese Halliburton playing through calf strains, and both of them would unfortunately, after multiple games of playing through that in the increased minutes of the playoffs, the increased workload, playing defense constantly, every possession, every night, they both unfortunately tore their Achilles. And so I think this is a very forward-thinking move by a very forward-thinking front office down there in San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree completely. I think, having your star player, especially at the season he's having, is going to stink. But I think that, especially after the non-contact Achilles injuries we've seen, that this is the best bet. Wemby did say that he feels fine.
Better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry. I literally have that right here. He'll be reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. So hopefully won't be that big of a loss right now for them.
Yeah, and while I was confident with the Knicks' depth, I low-key am very scared about the Spurs' lack of depth. They're 17-31 without Wembanyama in the 48 games that he has missed. The Spurs have enough depth to beat the bad teams, but when they start playing regular season games against the top seeds in the West and starting Luke Cornett, it's not going to be sustainable. Luke Cornett can't stretch the floor like Wembanyama. Obviously, he can't do a lot of the stuff that Wembanyama does. But just a little bit of food for thought before we go to our next topic. I mean, Wembanyama, if he continues this trend, we might never see him win an MVP or Defensive Player of the Year. And while he was, the favorite, as I mentioned last episode, to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, he might not hit that threshold each year to even make those, to get those accolades. And that's kind of sad to think about.
It certainly gets harder to stay healthy as you get older. We're going to transition now from contenders to pretenders as we head down to the Bayou of New Orleans, where the Pelicans have fired their head coach Willie Green after a 2-10 start to the season. Alex, how does a team that tried to go all in this past offseason end up firing their head coach after just 12 games?
It's ridiculous, Connor. This might be the worst organization in all of American sports right now because they hired Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver after going 2-26 last season from November to New Year's Day. They doubled down. They think we can go all in because, Zion will be back and healthy. They decided they were good enough to win now, like we said. And they trade away their 2026 unprotected first-round pick to the Atlanta Hawks for the 13th overall pick in this year's draft for Derek Queen. And while Derek Queen's play style looks a little bit promising, you never know what can happen. Some people are comparing his IQ to Jokic. Slow down. But while it looks promising, that is not worth. They're going to tank now, but they can't even tank because the higher they get, the more firepower the Hawks are going to get, and it's just going to spiral out of control.
Yeah, Alex, when they actually made that trade with the Atlanta Hawks, the Hawks actually called back the Pelicans 2 times because they thought it was a prank. And then after the trade was approved by the league office, they popped champagne. That tells you all you need to know. And by no means are the Atlanta Hawks the most forward-thinking organization in the NBA.
Absolutely not. They literally could not contain their excitement and just decided to celebrate.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on WTOP time, but don't go anywhere as we come back with My Fast Break, talking NHL and MLB free agency right here after the break.
Good evening and welcome to Jeopardy. I am your host, Joe.
Hello, Simon.
Joe is at this place. And I'm very concerned to see what Piper's answer is here. Sorry, it's a 98-page rule book.
You guys are stunned still?
Joe, I'm going to sound like a little snob here. It was not founded by Ray Kroc.
So you're probably wondering why the top producer of WTOP's new hit, Oswego Liza, is currently juggling a soccer ball right now. That's just because I don't just know ball, but I can play it too. WTOP, live every other Sunday, 7 p.m. Tune in.
I had to eat a raw egg on Chris's dormitory floor.
I currently don't have any federal pending charges.
You know what you never did? You never walked to Walmart, Chris.
That's my co-host. This is for making me eat roast Pop-Tarts.
It's showtime, Chris. Come on.
I want to be on the air for that. I got a couple things to say.
No.
Spin the wheel. Oh, you got censorship.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to.
Welcome back to the Fast Break. Today I'm asking the guys questions about the ice and the diamond. Let's dive right in. All right, we're skating over to the city of New Jersey, where star player Jack Hughes has been placed on IR for an apparent finger injury. This accident has sidelined him for a minimum of 6 weeks, but it's looking more like week 8 until we see him return. Connor, can the Devils continue on this run without him, or are they going to be left in the dirt?
Yeah, I think they can. Jack Hughes certainly an important piece for that team. Through his first 17 games, he had 10 goals and 20 points, certainly playing out of his mind, playing like the #1 overall draft pick that the Devils thought he was when they selected him all those years ago. This injury came off of a freak incident. He cut his hand on glass at a team dinner. Not quite sure how that happens. Really not what you want, especially when your team is fighting for the first seed in the Metropolitan Division right now. And this is going to have a little bit of a negative effect on Hughes' Olympic hopes, as in order to the Olympic Committee, in order for the upcoming games next year in Milan, need to submit rosters by December 31st. Hughes is not projected to be cleared to play until the second week of January, and men's Olympic hockey play does start February 11th. So he could technically be added on the roster, but you would be adding him without knowing if he would be fully healthy and potentially taking away a spot from another very good American player.
Yeah, Connor, and I hate to have this feel like it's the theme of this episode, but we keep talking about injuries and disappointment and how teams are going to adapt. And this team, you know, overall record with Jack Hughes on the ice, 141 wins, 107 losses, 20 ties, and we have, when he's off the ice, 31 wins, 37 losses. I mean, clearly they take a step back without him on the ice. Goals per game is down, goals allowed is up. And it's just really sad because Devils fans thought he was going to be on pace for a historic year this year and maybe be the first Devils player with 50 goals in a season. And, you know, they're just going to have to scramble and decide what the next move is. And also for his Olympic chances, it's very disappointing for the 24-year-old.
Absolutely. Right now, sorry. Right now we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Finally, as we wrap up the fast break, the final fast break of the season, I got one more heater for you guys. Mariners first baseman Josh Naylor has just signed a 5-year extension. Naylor was traded from the Diamondbacks to the Mariners earlier this year and was a major pickup for them. Alex, I wanted to ask you, was this move surprising or just another drop in the bucket for the MLB offseason?
I was pretty surprised that this was the first move of MLB free agency. I mean, with all the talks about, you know, Cody Bellinger, Pete Alonso, and, you know, just a wide open free agency market, I was a little surprised that a guy who got traded at the deadline was so quick to reunite with that squad.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is clearly, Josh Naylor has, you know, made his presence felt with the Mariners fan base. He went 19 for 19 on stolen bases after the trade deadline, and that's a guy who's 5'11", 250 pounds. Like, Mariners fans love him. He fires up the crowd. He just, you know, he led the Mariners in batting average to their first AL West title since 2001. Pretty amazing stuff. It takes him off the market, and I don't think it's a big deal in the grand scheme of MLB free agency. It does take a lefty first baseman off the market, but I was surprised to see that move, and I'll be curious to see how the Mariners try to allocate for Jorge Polanco and Eugenio Suarez, who are also free agents.
Yeah, Naylor coming in. This is an $18.5 million average annual value. He has a full no trade clause throughout all 5 years of his contract. That's insane for me. He is not worth that, in my opinion.
Fair.
We mentioned his stealing. He was a shockingly 30 for 32 on steals this year, while having a bottom third percentile in sprint speed. And really, at the end of the day, what this means is that he's setting the floor for Pete Alonso's free agency market when he inevitably signs in the next coming months. This 5-year 92.5 will be the set base value for what Alonso is looking to make. I think he'll obviously make well over $30 million a year.
Oh yeah, he's going to demand a lot.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for watching the final fast break of the semester. I'm all done here, but don't go anywhere. We have extra innings coming at you after the break.
But I would have liked to see more on, Putin or something. I don't think he's very nice.
He's so annoying, and he's not very funny either.
He got that hot dog at one time. I don't know why he would do such a thing.
I'm not sure why he's still playing a Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii is so old. I've tried reporting him like 600 times, and nobody's answering my phone calls.
Welcome back to the DK experience. Go back to your job.
Every NFL fan had prayed for the last 15 games. Maybe.
Writing a letter to the NFL fans? Get out of here with that. Let me finish.
No,
Let me finish.
Stop.
Johnny Manziel, that guy, he's a loser.
No, that's...
Watch the DK experience.
What we do here is go back.
Cooked. You know it's cooked when it's not raw anymore.
Got what Ram's gonna say here.
Cat cam.
Because Kenny pulled a picture of him. Yeah.
And welcome back to Stick to Sports. Last but not least, let's head to extra innings for our final round of picks. And boy, oh boy, is this race close. I'm currently in first with a show best 9-3 record, not trying to toot my own horn here. And the rest of the guys are just behind me at 8-4.
Oh, wow.
And now for all of you concerned about Mike, don't worry, he did make sure to send us his picks. So without further ado, let's look at the slate of games that we're breaking down this week.
Yeah, no, we couldn't end on a cliffhanger.
Nope.
We're going to start out here with an NBA Cup matchup as this Friday, the 2-seeded Denver Nuggets travel into H-Town to take on KD and the 3-seeded Rockets. So, Sammy, with both these teams being neck and neck in the Western Conference standings, who do you got coming out on top?
Well, you know me. I love Nikola Jokic, man. He is just a great basketball player. But the Rockets look dangerous this season, man. They look absolutely dangerous. So give me the Rockets.
Okay.
Give me the Rockets, man.
Connor, what about you?
I'm gonna continue this theme. I'm really high on the Rockets this year. I think this is gonna be a very, very, very close game. It could honestly go either way. But with Houston being at home, having off the day before, Denver, even though they are in the West Coast, they are going on a West Coast road trip before they travel into Houston. I just think all of that coming through. I have the Rockets 115 to 110. Alex?
And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I got Nuggets winning 109-104. I think they're going to have to double Jokic all game. This is going to be an Aaron Gordon masterclass.
And Mike also chose the Nuggets because he's going to lose. Yeah. All right. Shifting over to the NFL Sunday slate, Indiana Jones and the Colts will travel into Arrowhead Stadium to take on the struggling Kansas City Chiefs. Connor, will Indy be able to once again find the Ark of the Covenant, or will the clock strike midnight as Indiana Jones transforms back into Danny Derps?
Well, honestly, Sammy, I think the clock is going to strike midnight. I have the Chiefs winning by a score of 28-24. The Chiefs this season, they're 4-1 at home, 1-4 on the road. Kansas City has won 15 straight home games when they are a favorite. They are favored at home. And the Colts, despite being 8-2 this season, no one's talking about this. They have yet to beat a team over 500.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Danny Dimes
So the Miami
is going to.
Dolphins of.
You got the Chiefs, Connor. I'm with you there. We have the same exact score too. I don't know how that happened, but I think Daniel Jones is going to walk into Arrowhead and just dissipate. Give me the Chiefs.
I think they're wrong. I think they're both. I think you guys are both wrong. I think that MVP candidate.
We got 30 seconds.
Jonathan Taylor will
Wrap it up.
Push the clock back.
30 seconds.
Make sure Danny Dimes stays Danny Dots. All right. I'm done. Give me the Colts 28-14 to upset everybody.
And last one, Bucks Rams. Connor, who do you got?
I've got the Bucks 20-20. You can Rams 28-20. Sorry, there's our pick right there. We love you.
I got Rams.
I also got the Rams.
The Rams are gonna win. Oh wait, Matt Stafford.
Mike's the only one that took the Bucks. That's all the time we have on this clunky but last episode to Stick to Sports. Thank you to everybody who watched this year. We will be back next semester. Be sure to tune in next semester.